Okay, I'm in the process here of replacing both the trim hoses, new ones which are now braided but coated in rubberized sort of PVC plastic to stop the anti-foul building up. But in my process of doing this, I ended up stripping one of the threads on this lower manifold. So a word of caution to most people attempting this job: just be very careful when you're screwing it back in. As a result, I've had to buy a new manifold, not the cheapest thing in the world in the UK, £100 plus VAT. Just pulled it down and I'm going to just remove those two lines that come in on the top. As you can see, we had a drive shaft oil leak which drains into the bilge. That oil's obviously found its way to the lowest point. I've split this and there's oil coming out. It's not oil from the rams, of course. It's actually blue oil, which is gearbox oil, which is drained to the lowest point in the boat. So I'm just going to undo this and we'll resume. Okay, you'll notice here there are the two lines coming down. Obviously it's important not to mix them up when you're refitting the new manifold. The one at the front, you can see, is quite loose. She's slightly tethered by this one at the back. There may be a retaining cable, but I can actually get that off without the need to go inside the boat and start messing about with the fixings there. But I'm literally going to do it now, and hopefully I'll show you once I've got the actual manifold screw back on. Well, just so you're aware, a little bit of an update. I've had to get inside the boat because I couldn't get the leverage on the nuts. They're extremely stiff, obviously never been off. The boat's nearly 12 years old. And I've had to go inside the boat, slacken the cable clamps off, push the cables from the tank in the header tank for the trim tabs, push it down to allow me to get this thing out. I've managed to free one off, and hopefully I can get the other one freed off now as well. Well, this job to replace the trim ram hoses has ended up a bit of a nightmare for me, and I give people warning that just be aware of what you may encounter. You'll see there's only a black line now feeding. I ended up to get the grey downline hose out of the lower manifold. It was absolutely seized solid. Just would not move. We heated it, tried everything, just wouldn't move. I ended up having to cut the manifold off in an attempt to rescue the line, and in doing so, when I actually got it apart, the actual nipple end at the bottom of the grey hose, where it goes below the transom into that manifold outside, was just too badly corroded. It had almost obviously some kind of electrolysis had taken place on that nipple with the aluminium manifold. I've ended up now having to replace the hose. I've got the hose here. I've actually run a blue line in here. You can see this is to help me feed the line back down through the hull and outside, but the whole job from changing 4 simple hoses has ended up a very costly experience. We've ended up with a manifold and a new hose. I've managed the black one's fine, but it's not been the easiest of jobs, so perhaps a bit more care. If I'd have taken a bit more care when trying to connect to the manifold, although I do think that when I originally took out one of the old trim hoses, it did remove some of the thread in the manifold. Obviously perhaps been over tightened originally when the thing was assembled. I've never taken them off ever, and it's been a really difficult job. Should be really simple. They're fairly easy to access. You know, it's not a technically difficult job, but obviously due to age of the boat's 12 years old, it's not proved that easy to get the things apart. So